Since the mid-'80s, the number of volunteer firefighters dropped 11%. Now, the dwindling number is affecting mid-Missouri. Tonight, I'm finding out how the drop in volunteer firefighters is affecting not only response times, but your community.
Yeah, I would say probably 50% or more of our firefighters have multiple part-time jobs or a full-time job plus some side work.
Jobs that pay, raising a family, and keeping the required training skills are taking priority over donating time to keep an active volunteer firefighter status.
I try to make it a point not to leave, kids' ball games and family events to go on calls. And again, it makes it hard to find time because with 3 boys and being involved in sports and things, getting away and finding time to get away to go to calls and trainings is difficult.
Mike Ely is a nearly 25-year veteran as a volunteer firefighter at the Lynn Fire Protection District. The once 15-year-old boy with a dream of fighting fires full-time says it isn't possible with the demands of everyday life. He sees that same struggle throughout the department.
We have struggled. 3 o'clock in the afternoon is a good example. You have people that are still at work that haven't come home yet. You have people working second shift that are going to work, and in that time frame, there's surrounding departments that, they might get paged out 2 or 3 times and no one can come.
The Red Cross says you likely have 2 minutes to get out of a burning building before you're trapped inside. Ely says sometimes it takes 10 to 25 minutes for that extra help to get there.
We've gone to fires with 2 guys, one guy running the truck, another, not going into the building, but doing as much as you can from outside until other help gets there.
According to the National Fire Protection Association numbers I pulled, the number of 911 calls for service is outpacing the number of volunteer firefighters in the U.S. According to the report, from 2011 to 2015, the number of volunteer firefighters went up 7%. During the same time period, there was a 10% growth in the number of 911 calls.
The call volume we've seen increase across the country. More people are calling 911. When I was a kid growing up, you didn't call 911 unless it was a life or death emergency.
Boone County Assistant Fire Chief Gail Blumenkamp attributes his department doing well because 50% of the people wanting to be volunteers in Boone County are 18 to 30 years old.
Many of those people that come to volunteer with us see this or want to make this a career.
West Regional Fire Chief Jack Brady says his department in Cole County is always asking for applications, but they do turn people away. Brady tells me they have around 37 volunteers at West Regional, and a sense of community helps fill their positions.
It's hard finding those people who want to commit, give up that much, without expecting anything in return. And so the people that we have come in here and that do sign up, they'll do anything for you.
Volunteers make up 70% of all firefighters nationwide. According to the National Volunteer Fire Council, because of time donated, it saves $46.9 billion each year.
Essentially, this is out of the goodness of their heart and wanting to help the community. They're not being paid, so they're a very important piece to this puzzle.
Oh, they really are. Now we give them a little bit for the calls they make and the training they make, but it doesn't even cover their gas money. But they do it, they are the core.
If you want to see an extended interview with volunteer firefighter Mike Ely, you can check it out on our website, abc17news.com.
ABC 17's Ashley Strohmier goes in depth, finding out what has changed over the last couple of decades and why your home may not be as safe as you think.
30 years ago, you had 15 to 17 minutes to get out of a house fire. Today, you have 3 to 5 minutes to get out. That's if the smoke inhalation doesn't kill you first. How quickly can smoke inhalation kill someone or make it to where they can't get out of their home?
One or two breaths.
Gail Blumenkamp with the Boone County Fire Protection District tells me the reason more people are dying in house fires is the products in our homes.
30 or 40 years ago, this table would have been a solid wood, real wood table. Today it's pressed wood that is glued together. It's sawdust that's glued together, and it's called press board.
Not only are the tables in our homes petroleum-based.
Same with the chair. It's polyurethane foam, where 30 or 40 years ago it was cotton or wool covered with cotton padding, which burns very slowly.
The same goes for your couch, curtains, carpet, and even baby toys. FEMA says smoke and toxic gases from these materials kills more people than fire does. The National Fire Protection Agency says on average 7 people die each day from house fires. Blomenkamp tells me kitchen fires are still the #1 cause of house fires in the country.
If you're entertaining and you have friends over, somebody's hollering at you over there, this person wants your help, you got 3 kids running through here, you may forget what's going on. So distractions is a big part of it. So once that fire starts on the stove, where's this going to go? It's going to go to the cabinets. If these are real wood cabinets, it's gonna do a lot better than most of the recent cabinets that you see used today, which is that press board that are glued together.
It's all plastic.
It's sawdust that's glued, and that glue is a petroleum-based product, and so it's very flammable.
The Trauma Center Medical Director at MU Health, Jeff Kokenauer, says he sees around 350 patients a year for fire-related injuries.
The instances where somebody is unable to escape a burning home, they have to get pulled out by fire rescue or bystander or whatnot, and end up here on a ventilator or having to have prolonged critical care because of that toxin ingestion is probably less than 5 patients per year.
Kokenauer says the reason for the low amount of patients they see is because their symptoms are not bad enough or the person has already died.
We've certainly had burn fatalities. Of course, folks who have pre-existing medical conditions or elder patients or something like that are going to be more prone to succumb to thermal injuries.
Both Blomenkamp and Kokenauer agreed prevention tactics are key to getting out of a burning house. First, be sure to have working smoke detectors. Second, have a plan. And third, practice that plan with your family.
People just need to be more cautious, I think, and have that plan and have that early notification to get out of their house if there is a problem.
Having an escape plan, really simple stuff within the home.
If you want to see more of the interview with Blomenkamp, our digital team has posted an extended version of the interview on our website, abc17news.com.
Joey, I am here at Salute to America as the festivities have kicked off for the 4th of July. I've seen tractors, I've seen trucks, there's been loud music. There were some kids handing out some water bottles. Very smart, mind you. All right, Connor, thank you. I guess if there is one bit of good news about this rain, if you're planning on coming down here for the concert that starts around 7:15, or perhaps the fireworks that are supposed to start around 9:30, there's a ton of parking because there's not a ton of people here right now because of the rain. Now, since these boats can go on land and water, they're regulated by 2 different departments. That's the U.S. Coast Guard and, of course, the Department of Transportation. Now, a mechanical inspector named Stephen Paul spoke to CNN about these particular style boats today, and he had a big issue with one thing. He said the first thing he noticed when he inspected these less than a year ago were these right here. These are the exhaust pipes. They are on the front of these boats. He said if they were to run into rough water, these pipes right here could eventually flood and force the engine to quit. Now, if you look back at the video from the incident, it shows those waves slamming into the front of that amphibious boat that sank. And shortly after, it did sink whenever those waves were crashing in front of it. So here lies another issue. Who is regulating these boats, and are these regulations enforced? Those bulldozers were pushing debris and these power lines. Power lines were flying everywhere. Debris was being pushed down the road. They were trying to clear it so they could make way for the first responders to get down here because this whole road was blocked off. There was no getting in or out for anyone until those bulldozers got here. I'm here with Governor Mike Parson. He just got to the scene, at least for the first time that I have seen. Is this your first time assessing this damage, at least here on Ellis Boulevard?
It is.
Ellis, that candlelight vigil will be in 2.5 hours at the Brookside Church in Branson, which is just a short drive away from where we are at the water's edge here at Table Rock Lake. Now, lawmakers from all over the country as well as the state have been tweeting their condolences. This goes as far as President Trump tweeting about this when he found out. We're going to keep moving down. There's still a first responder presence down at the end of this, but you can see this gas station. Also, Jack, let's take a pan down. Look at this. This is what this whole area was covered with. These power lines were down all over the road. Across the street, you can see the power lines are down.